10 Dark Side of Ghana. Did you know that Ghana, known for its rich culture and warm hospitality, is also one of the world's largest exporters of hard drugs? Yes, it's alarming to discover that this vibrant nation, celebrated for its gold, cocoa and kente, has a shadowy underbelly deeply involved in the international drug trade. Narcotics, particularly cocaine and heroin, are trafficked on a massive scale, tainting Ghana's image on the global stage. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's more to uncover about the dark side of Ghana. But wait, before we begin, please subscribe to ensure that you never miss out on any of my crucial stuff. Comment "I subscribe" below, and I will personally welcome you to our community. Let's get started. Corruption, an unseen monster, lurks in the corners of Ghana's government. Like a shadowy puppeteer, it pulls at the strings of progress, stunting the nation's development and affecting the lives of the common people. It's a silent beast that creeps in, feeding on the resources meant to uplift the country, leaving behind a trail of unfulfilled promises and shattered dreams. Recent scandals have brought this issue to the forefront, with officials caught in webs of deceit and misuse of power. From embezzlement of public funds to bribery and procurement processes, these incidents have not only eroded public trust, but also undermined the country's growth. The common people bear the brunt of this menace, their hopes for a better life often dashed against the rocks of corruption. It's a harsh reality that leaves many disillusioned, struggling to make ends meet, while the corrupt prosper. Corruption, unfortunately, is just one of the many issues the country faces. In the shadows of Ghana's booming cocoa industry lies the harsh reality of child labor. Veiled behind the enticing allure of chocolate, a bitter truth persists. In Ghana, one of the world's leading producers of cocoa, countless children are toiling under the scorching sun, their hands marred by the grind of labor instead of the laughter of play. These young souls, some as tender as 5 years old, are caught in the relentless gears of a system that exploits their innocence for profit. They are the unseen hands that pick the cocoa pods, enduring back-breaking work and harsh conditions. Their labor, often unpaid, forms the backbone of an industry that supplies cocoa to major international brands. This is not an isolated issue. It's a systemic problem deeply rooted in poverty and a lack of opportunities for education. Despite international efforts to curb this practice, the dark specter of child labor continues to loom over Ghana's cocoa fields. The exploitation of these innocent lives is a harsh reality that plagues Ghana. Despite being one of the fastest-growing economies in Africa, poverty is still a significant issue in Ghana. Let's delve into this. The prosperity of a nation is often measured by its economic growth, but what does that mean for the people left in the margins? In Ghana, the wealth does not trickle down. A large portion of the population, particularly in rural areas, still struggles to meet basic needs. Poverty in Ghana isn't just about empty pockets, it's about lack of access to clean water, inadequate healthcare, and limited educational opportunities. It's about mothers who can't afford to feed their children and fathers who toil under the sun for hours only to earn a pittance. The effects of poverty are far-reaching, touching every aspect of life. It stifles dreams, hinders progress, and perpetuates a cycle of despair and hopelessness. It's a stark contrast to the skyscrapers and bustling markets that symbolize Ghana's economic boom. Poverty, a grim reminder of the inequality that exists. Ghana, a country with captivating natural beauty, struggles with a significant sanitation challenge. Despite its many charms, the issue of poor sanitation casts a long, troubling shadow. Littered streets, overflowing waste bins, and polluted water bodies are common sights, but this is not just about aesthetics. The consequences are far graver. Poor sanitation breeds diseases, posing serious health risks to the population. Cholera, typhoid, and malaria are but a few examples of the illnesses that can stem from such conditions. Moreover, the environment suffers too. With waste often disposed of improperly, the soil, air, and water bodies become contaminated. This not only jeopardizes the country's rich biodiversity, but also contributes to climate change. Ghana's sanitation problem is a complex one, deeply rooted in a lack of infrastructure, education, and resources. It's a challenge that needs urgent attention and action. Sanitation, a basic human right, yet a pressing issue in Ghana. Before we continue, can I beg a little favor? If you're liking what you're hearing, show us some love by pressing that like button. And hey, if you want to be in the loop for our fantastic upcoming videos, make sure to press subscribe and ring that bell so you're always in the know. Oh, and one more thing. Drop a quick "I subscribe" down in the comments, and I'll make sure to offer you a warm welcome to our amazing family. All right, enough of that. Let's keep the conversation flowing. Education, the key to a nation's progress, remains inaccessible to many in Ghana. It's a conundrum that echoes across the sub-Saharan region, where an estimated 42 million children are out of school. In Ghana, the challenges are multifold. From inadequate infrastructure, overcrowded classrooms, to poorly trained teachers, the system is riddled with issues that undermine the learning environment. Many children, especially those in rural areas, are left behind, their potential untapped. Moreover, the curriculum often lacks relevance to the realities of Ghanaian life, leading to a disconnect between what is taught and what is needed for the country's development. This misalignment further stunts the progress of the nation as graduates struggle to find meaningful employment and contribute positively to society. All these factors culminate in a vicious cycle that hampers Ghana's socio-economic development. The result? A country grappling with a workforce ill-equipped to meet the demands of a rapidly evolving global landscape. The lack of quality education, a stumbling block to Ghana's progress. Healthcare, an essential pillar of a society, is in a state of crisis in Ghana. The challenges faced by the health sector in this West African nation are multifaceted. Inadequate facilities, a persistent issue, means that many Ghanaians lack access to even basic health services. Hospitals and clinics are few and far between, particularly in rural areas, making it difficult for those in need to receive timely care. The dearth of trained professionals exacerbates this crisis. There simply aren't enough doctors, nurses, and health practitioners to meet the needs of Ghana's population of over 30 million. The problem is compounded by the fact that many of those who do get trained often choose to practice abroad, leaving a vacuum in local healthcare delivery. Moreover, even when health services are available, they often remain inaccessible to many due to high costs and long waiting times. The healthcare crisis, a matter of life and death. Ghana's lush landscapes hide a dark secret, the scourge of illegal mining. This clandestine activity, often referred to as galamsey, is an unregulated practice that's wreaking havoc on both the environment and local communities. The extraction process often involves the use of toxic chemicals like mercury and cyanide, which contaminate water sources and soil, causing long-term damage to Ghana's rich biodiversity. The effects are not just ecological. The polluted water and degraded lands also pose a considerable threat to the livelihoods of local communities who rely on these resources for farming and fishing. Moreover, the health risks are significant. Exposure to these toxins can lead to severe health issues, including neurological and cardiovascular diseases. And let's not forget, the miners themselves, often working in perilous conditions, are at risk too. Illegal mining, a threat to Ghana's natural beauty and its people. This is a dark side of Ghana's story that needs urgent attention. Human rights, the cornerstone of a just society, are often violated in Ghana. Imagine a world where police brutality isn't an anomaly, but a grim reality. This is the plight of many Ghanaians who face unchecked aggression from those sworn to protect them. Discrimination, too, runs rampant. It seeps into every aspect of life, from education to employment, creating an unfair and unbalanced system. Individuals are judged based on their tribe, their gender, their sexual orientation, and even their economic status, rather than their merit or character. Then there's the violence, particularly against women and children. It's a chilling reminder that, for some, safety and security are luxuries rather than rights. From domestic abuse to child exploitation, the victims of these heinous acts bear the scars of a society that is yet to fully embrace equality and justice. Human rights abuses, a stain on Ghana's image. From corruption to human rights abuses, these are the dark sides of Ghana. We began our journey with a disturbing fact about Ghana, a country rich in culture and potential, yet plagued by a number of dark realities. The first of these is corruption, a pervasive issue that seeps into every level of society, hindering progress and fostering inequality. Then we moved on to the heartbreaking issue of child labor, where young lives are robbed of their innocence and forced into grueling work conditions. Poverty, a widespread issue, only exacerbates this problem, creating a vicious cycle that is hard to break. We also touched upon poor sanitation, a concern that threatens public health and the environment. In the realm of education, we discussed how a lack of quality institutions and resources holds back the potential of Ghana's youth, the nation's future leaders. Healthcare, another critical area, faces a severe crisis in Ghana. Limited resources, inadequate facilities, and a lack of trained health professionals put the population at risk. Next, we explored the issue of illegal mining, an activity that not only harms the environment but also contributes to economic instability. And lastly, the human rights abuses that occur with alarming frequency, where the basic dignity and rights of individuals are often ignored or violated. While Ghana has made significant strides in many areas, these issues serve as a reminder that there's still much work to be done. Our journey through the dark side of Ghana is a call to action, a plea for change, and a hope for a brighter future.